Hello everybody, Mr. O here, and I'm going to do a quick lesson of moving from a small sketch to a large paper. So in my classroom, we are learning realistic eyes, and so they've sketched, just like this one, there's a sketch of a realistic eye, and they need to transfer it to a larger paper. Sometimes we can draw small and we can draw it very well, but when we go larger, we make a lot of mistakes. So all I'm gonna show is how to get started. So on this other sketch paper, I kind of laid out the reminder about how I start drawing. When I show and demonstrate and you see that I draw guidelines, those guidelines follow me through, not only in the sketch, but to the final paper. So here is my sketch. I'm gonna put it off to the side. You won't be able to see it anymore. And I want you to just see how I'm gonna lay out like the eyebrow. Notice I'm not worrying about eyelashes and stuff like that. Eyebrow, I got the bottom and I got the top just kind of laid out a little bit, but I'm not drawing the hair. I'm not doing any of the details of the iris. Like I can go back in here. This is very rough. When I go in the final, I will smooth and correct everything. These are just your guidelines, and it's important as you draw larger that you start using guidelines. So just like I do on this sketch, I'm just gonna follow both of these papers. I'm going to start with my large eyeball, not my iris just yet. And you may notice that when I draw a circle, I actually draw two lines, a C and a backward C, and I have more control. Now, if I want to put my pupil in right now, I can, so I'm not confused later. And you can see, oops, I made a mistake. Even in your guidelines, if you notice something right away, you can just correct it and round it off a little better. Not a big deal. Extra lines, even on their final paper. The key to drawing large is knowing when, things are getting too small. I want you to look at that. I want you to look at the size of that paper. Did I draw that large enough for the paper? No, I did not. So this is what I'm talking about. And I'm gonna flip this over. So don't worry, this was planned. It is important not to worry about your eyebrow as much as you are about your eye. That looks like a gigantic eyeball now, but it's really not. So when I put the iris in, look at the size. It's almost the size of how I drew the eyeball before. And now I'm gonna do the pupil, not the purple. And now I'm gonna draw the shape of the eye. And look how much bigger and how much more of the paper that I take up. And this is gonna be great. So I'm gonna just do a quick sketch so you guys can see that, like, here's part of the eyelid, here's the upper eyelid, and then I can start marking out where my eyebrow is by just using a couple dashes and stuff like that. And I'm looking at the distance, because when I look at the distance between the two, that's what I'm looking at. This might be too close, so could I erase just these dashes a little bit so I don't get confused? Yes. But what it was is I curved down a little too fast. There you go. And I'm gonna go off the page with the eyebrow now. Here on my sketch, I can see the full eyebrow, but sometimes you just take the eyebrow off the page and come back into it. I hope that makes sense. Hope I didn't talk too fast about it. And guys, I hope you're doing well. And more importantly, never forget you are loved. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.